What's up, everybody? Steven Zekila here, bringing you more reaction videos every day, so never miss out. But before that, 72% of the viewers watching my videos are not subscribed. This means two things: you're either new to the channel or returning to watch another one of my videos. I hope this video is the one that gets you to hit that subscribe button today. In 2025, our goal was to hit 500,000 subscribers, and we were so close of hitting that goal. This year, I'll be pushing my channel further beyond and going past its limits by going for 650,000 subscribers. I'm gonna keep pushing my power forward till I can hit 1 million subscribers. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the Z-Killer Army. What's up, everybody? Steven Z-Killer here, bringing another reaction to some more of the Amazing Little Circus. Now, this one is going to be an interesting one. It's another AU. 4 of the best The Amazing Little Circus AU lore explained. Now, we've been watching this channel for a while, and I think one of the last ones I did watch was another new video based off of another Amazing Little Circus AU. So it's been a while. I think at least maybe a month or two since we did one, and I think he talked about diving into some of these other small or starting off AUs that were mentioned in the last video, and I think this is pretty much what he was referring to. So I'm excited to check this one out because it might give us more to check out in the future. Maybe when these AUs get more developed, he can make more individual videos off of it. And of course, if you guys have suggestions for more Amazing Little Circus AU content or comic dubs or anything you guys want me to react to when it comes to Amazing Little Circus, let me know about it down below in the comments or post interaction idea section on my Discord. Now, when I saw this pop up on my feed, I knew how to tackle it because you guys absolutely love these AU reactions from this channel. And of course, if there's other videos from the past I should still check out, let me know about those ones too. And don't forget to show your support by subscribing to the channel yourself, like I have already, and liking the original video. Now, like I said, this just came out. It's got a little bit more than 20,000 views in 6 hours, and I don't doubt I'm posting this the following day. So anyways, let's dive into this and check it out and enjoy it together.
So a little over a month ago, I made a video covering the Amazing Digital Guardian AU. And in that video,
yeah, that's the one,
a few other AUs popped up, like the Fight Club and the Cain and Abel Casino.
Surprisingly, I think that one, not the casino one, but the Fight Club, I think I have seen that in a couple comments too for me to check out. So maybe at some point he'll make a bigger video on the Fight Club stuff, or if there's other, I think there was some people saying that there's other videos already on the Fight Club one that got really popular. Let me know if you guys want me to check out that one from another channel or something, or the original channel or creator, if there is something out there for me to watch.
A bunch of you wanted me to cover some of those AUs in more detail. So in this video, I'm going to go ahead and show you 4 different Amazing Digital Circus AUs and explain the backstory and lore attached to them thus far. And if I'm being honest, the reason that I'm looking at a bunch of these AUs now is because I'm excited for the movie that's going to be coming out in less than 2 weeks at this point. Now, with that being
less than 2 weeks? Yeah, actually, yeah.
And said, the first AU that I want to speak about is going to be called the Amazing Digital Wonderland.
Oh, I did watch this. I watched the trailer, did a reaction to the trailer. I watched the technically the first episode that was released just maybe a couple weeks or a month ago.
Created by Nintendo. And I'm really excited about this one. They, alongside a group of voice actors, have already made 2 animated trailers for this AU on top of the content on Tumblr from the creator as well. And as the name suggests, this AU will take a lot of inspiration from Alice in Wonderland, but with their own twist to the story. Now, here's what I know about this one thus far. This AU starts off with Pomni working at this cable and analog store, which just means that she is a tech person. And for a bit, we see Pomni going through her daily tasks while trying.
Okay, so this is going into stuff that I may not know. Only thing I know from this AU was the trailer I reacted to and technically the first animated episode that was released. So off the bat, this is telling me stuff that wasn't even in those on Pomni before she entered. Okay.
Trying to stay awake. But then something interesting happens. When Pomni's coworker is talking, Pomni starts to drown out her voice because she sees this little white clown fall out of the computer screen and then starts to complain about being late.
I'm late for a very important date.
And being in a hurry for something, he starts jumping from screen to screen, quickly making his way through the whole store with Pomni following behind him. Eventually, he makes his final jump into this computer with a black screen, and being curious, Pomni reaches out. And to my surprise, her hand goes right through the screen and it turns blue, showing us that she is being sucked into this digital wonderland.
Okay, that's cool because that was not even shown in the first episode or anything like that. I think the first episode, if I remember correctly, just starts off with Pomni falling, which is, I think, this part right here.
When she pops out on the other side, she finds herself in this room filled with a bunch of doors. And as she tries to communicate with the white clown to get some answers about her situation, the guy just takes off, saying that if he's even a second late, he'll lose his head. Now, as Pomni is looking through these different doors, eventually she finds her way into this lush forest, or at least she thinks, until the plants start speaking, and it turns out that they are actually the Gloinks.
Oh,
and I really
wow.
hope that these guys get some screen time in this AU, because we haven't really seen them much since episode 1 of the Amazing Digital Circus, if I remember correctly.
They actually came back in episode 4 as well.
One of the first characters that we see in this AU is Zoobles, and they seem to be taking the place of the smoked out caterpillar. And they recreate the classic scene of Alice eating one side of the mushroom to grow tall and the other side to make her shrink.
I don't care. Yeah, 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 yeah.
But instead of Pomni's whole body growing, it looks like it may just be her neck, and I assume that we'll see a lot of scenes like this throughout the series, where they are reminiscent of the original with a digital circus twist. After that, we get to see Jax, and he seems to be taking the place of the Cheshire Cat, and he was actually in the trailer that came out a little ways
Honestly, really good choice of who Jax is.
back.
You look a little mad.
Mad? Don't you mean lost?
Of course. We're all mad here.
And honestly, I think this trailer, along with the voice acting, is what really got me hyped about this AU initially. Now, funny enough, when I saw these two versions of Gangle, I assumed that she was taking the place of the twins, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, but it looks like she's actually the Queen's royal entertainers. One version of herself being like super happy and outgoing, while the other one is like depressed and sad, which kind of makes sense when you think about the whole mass theme that she has going on. And of course, we have Kinger and his wife as the King and Red Queen, which makes a lot of sense. And based on what little bit we have here, Kinger seems to be a decent guy, albeit a little wimpy, while the Queen is a absolute menace. Ragatha also makes an appearance in this AU, but for whatever reason, her little comic was retconned, so I'll only show her little card here. Basically, she is taking the role of Raggedy Ann, and I love how she's described as being the only normal person in this weird world right now. She's basically a maid that is just doing her best to stay out of all the madness, clean her little shop, and I'm going to assume that she's probably going to be one of the people who's helping Pomni out during this whole adventure. And then lastly, we have Kane taking on the role of the Mad Hatter, which is actually perfect for him.
I agree.
As we can tell so far, it seems like Pomni is going to be the only human in this AU, while everyone else is likely from this digital world. And what I'm predicting right now is that we're probably going to get like
I'm not gonna lie, when the Amazing Digital Circus ends, it's gonna be a sad day because we're only a couple weeks away from it being released on Glitch, which I'm still waiting for. I'm not seeing it in theaters, by the way, for those who have not seen it in my videos talking about that whole situation. But it's going to be a sad day, but these like AU stuff, content, comic dubs, stuff like that is still going to help with the fandom enjoying these characters that we have been with and going through the story of the Amazing Digital Circus wise for the last 3 years almost.
like a bunch of mini episodes, each dealing with some kind of misadventure that Pomni is on as she tries to make her way back to the real world, while also trying to avoid the crazy queen and not let Jax get her into too much trouble. I'll make sure to link the trailers and the channels involved in this project so that you can all check them out yourself. This is one that, again, I'm really excited about. With that being said, let's move over to the next AU, which is called the Amazing Digital Fight Club. And just like with the last AU, this one is also planning to have an animation created at some point in the future. But from what we know thus far, this AU takes place in a reality where all the characters from the circus are in an underground fight circuit. And while they're all fighting for their own reasons, the bottom line is that they all want to be
I'm going to have to look into this one a little bit more.
number one. Now, as I explained before, we have Pomni, who is the newest person to join the fight club, and as such, the character with the least fighting experience and the wildest boxing style. Pomni is basically that fighter that is looking to throw like one heavy punch and knock her opponent out. As of right now, Pomni seems to have a neutral relationship with the other fighters, with Jax being the exception. As we can see here, she has like a complete dislike for him. And Ragatha, whose icon is completely blue, showcases that Pomni really likes and respects her. And of course, unlike the other fighters, Pomni is fighting for more than just to be number one, but also to get back to the human world. Now, since we were just talking about Ragatha, this is a good time to
Okay, off the bat, these designs, I like these fighting designs. Both Pomni and Ragatha look sick.
take a look at her card, and we learn that she's the only person outside of Pomni who is still in the rookie rank. But it isn't because she lacks the skills to win, but rather because she has no taste for violence. Just like in the original show, Ragatha still has her kind
I could see that.
heart, and since she doesn't really want to hurt people, she has made it her mission to be a sparring partner for Pomni to help her hone her skills and get her one step closer to getting out of the fight club. I also want to point out that Ragatha has an ability called Soft Block, which basically allows her to block any punches that come her way, showcasing again that even though she is really powerful, she prioritizes defense, just like in the Amazing Digital Guardian AU. After that, we see
cool.
Kinger, and I love how he looks like
Holy I like the fact that you're showing off Kingpin. Okay, dude. Kinger with a giant fucking fist, though. What the hell?
a kingpin here. Unlike Ragatha, he has no problem putting a hurt on some people and is even considered to be one of the best fighters in the fight club. And something interesting about his fight card, and is even considered to be one of the best fighters in
Wow, he dislikes 3 characters completely and only likes 1.
the fight club. And something interesting about his fight card is that he knows that there is some crooked stuff going on in the club, but he keeps his mouth shut because as of right now, he's benefiting from it and making a ton of money. And even his manager, which is his wife, of course, is willing to keep quiet because they have a pretty good thing going at the moment. And when looking a bit deeper, we learn that one of the people behind the dirty deals, bribery, and manipulation of the fights is Abel. We get to see that this guy is the manager for Jax and has made it his mission to make sure that one of the people behind the dirty deals, bribery, and manipulation of the fights is Abel. We get to see that this guy is
Okay, I wasn't so sure if I heard that correctly. They're making Abel a character? Huh. And his head's like a deck of cards.
the manager for Jax and has made it his mission to. And when looking a bit deeper, we learn that one of the people behind the dirty deals, bribery, and manipulation of the fights is Abel. We get to see that this guy is the manager for Jax and has made it his mission to make sure that he and Jax get the spotlight no matter what. And then on the opposite of that, we get Kane, who seems to be following his code to a T, acting as Pomni's manager and doing his best to help her win fights and get out of this world without cheating. After that, we see Jax, and he's technically considered
Okay, Jax's outfit is pretty damn cool.
to be the best fighter in the club, but as we saw with Kinger, people may be taking bribes and throwing fights to allow Jax to stay on top. So it's really hard to say if he deserves to be on top or if he's just cheating. Now, unlike with Pomni, Jax is completely happy being in this world. Even if he was to win the
I'm wondering because Kinger's wife's in this. I wonder if we're going to see Ribbit or anything.
championship, he would not go back to the human world, but he would just simply stay here, continue to cheat, fight, and live a pretty good life, all things considered. Next, we see Gangle, and I think that her
Whoa!
design is the coolest in this entire AU. She is this kind of like
Her design's kind of broken looking. I don't know if she can easily take damage.
giant serpent ribbon monster, and I love it. As of right now, she is considered to be the third best fighter in the fight club and actually has a huge fan base. Unlike Kinger, she has no idea about all the cheating going on in this world and is content to try to fight her way to the top, honestly.
Okay.
And finally, we have our final fighter, which is Zoobles, and
What the fuck? That is a crazy design for Zubul.
they look absolutely monstrous. They are a strength-based fighter and is actually second on the leaderboard. And in all honesty, if Jax wasn't cheating, there would be no way that he would beat this person in a fight. And of course, the only person that could manage this giant version of
The Gloinks Queen? What the fuck?
Zubul is the Gloink Queen, who has just as bad of an attitude as Zubul's and is ready to fight the other managers at the drop of a hat, which is why she's been banned from watching the fights in person. And then lastly, we have Bubble, who is the same as always, completely unaware of anything going on in the Fight Club and acting as Kane's assistant. While I'm not sure exactly when this animation is supposed to come out, I'm really excited to see what they do with this.
I'm going to have to look into this a little bit more. Maybe do another video if I find videos and or something based off of the upcoming animation or anything on that.
Because it has so much potential.
Definitely. I feel like that definitely has the same like high potential as like the Alice in Wonderland one that we just saw.
Next on our list is going to be the Kane and Abel Casino, created by CNA Enterprise. And while I don't think this one is going to become a full series, we do have a lot of information for it on Tumblr. From what we know thus far, this AU is mafia themed, and unlike the other AUs, it doesn't seem like Pomni is a human trying to make her way back to the real world, but rather she is a higher up in this criminal organization, with Kane being her boss.
Already much different, okay.
And while they do seem to be running a legitimate casino, they have no issue roughing people up if they find them cheating or trying to get out of paying their debts. We have info cards for most of the characters here, starting with Jax, and we learn that even though he's part of the mob, he's actually from a very wealthy family. He simply loves getting into trouble and pulling pranks on people so much that he ended up falling into this life by accident, really. And now he just seems to be working as the muscle, which doesn't really surprise me when you see how tall he is. After that, we see Gangle's card, and I don't really know what she does at the casino.
Okay, that's kind of a cool design, having the ribbon kind of designed to look like hair for Gangle. I like that.
We just know that she started working for Kane as a way to help pay for her art career, and now she is stuck with the mob. She seems to be the person who gets information for the organization, almost like she's some type of spy or just like a hacker or something. The last info card we have is Ragatha, and I really love her design in this AU.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
As of right now, she seems to be the only character that isn't working for Kane, but rather working with Kinger, Queenie, and Zubul at the cabaret called the Doll Palace. And I assume that this is also a play on words considering the flag here. Now, from what I can put together about the main story thus far, Kane believes that somebody is trying to take down his criminal enterprise, and the only information that he has so far is that whoever this enemy is frequents the Doll Palace. And this is why in the animation, we see Kane having a serious conversation with Pomni, letting her know that she and Jax are tasked with finding and getting rid of the threat, which Pomni seems to have some issue with, considering how she sighs when she leaves the room. And while we do get to see her and Jax get to the dollhouse, the animation ends shortly after that, not giving us any more clues as to who this enemy may be. Right now, this creator is taking a break, but I hope when they come back, we get more info cards and this hybrid kind of slideshow animation style. Not many accounts on Tumblr present their work in this way, and it's kind of a nice change of pace.
Awesome.
The last AU that I promised to cover is the Amazing Digital Office AU created by Pika Vaney, and it's inspired by the creator on Instagram called Eden. And while this one on the surface has the most like mundane appearance, the premise is actually pretty cool. On Eden's original post, they described this AU as being an office instead of a circus. And instead of the tunes having to go on Kane's adventures, they are forced to work in this digital office all day and night for free. And when I really think about it, that has to be a form of all day.
Also, it's interesting seeing Jax and Ragatha hold hands. Although I also see Gangle holding Ragatha's arm with her ribbon here.
And night for free. And when I really think about it, that has to be a form of hell for so many people for sure. Now, Pinka did add their own twist to the concept so that it's less dark and a bit more slice of life. And what I mean by this is that the characters still feel like they're stuck in this office, but more in the way of how normal people sometimes feel stuck in life or like a daily routine, and less being held against your will by a digital overlord. We even see this in this panel of the comic when Pomni is introduced and looking completely overwhelmed, as if she doesn't know how she got into this situation. But based on some of the artwork here, it looks like she eventually will
I like the style it looks like, though.
find her footing, and she becomes friends with all her coworkers. Just like with the other AUs, we have some
These are pretty simple, like, but they're nice designs for the aesthetic.
info cards for most of the characters, starting with Pomni. We learn that she is 25 years old in this AU and is the new accountant at the Cain and Abel Corporation. She quickly rises through the ranks and becomes a manager here, likely due to the fact that she is a workaholic and is the only person in the office who can keep up with Cain, who of course
Wow, okay.
is the co-founder of this operation. I kind of like the fact that Cain isn't considered to be like a all-powerful AI here, but rather just a 30-year-old business owner looking to be innovative and creative. I was also surprised to learn that he is a really good boss. I assumed that he would be abusive and like put his workers through all kind of shenanigans, but he's described as being a really fun boss who just wants to help his co-workers thrive. After that, we see Jax, and I think that he is the youngest person in this office, only being 22. And while he is really smart, he's also super lazy and spends most of his days trying to figure out how to get out of doing any work, which
Sounds like Jax.
really doesn't surprise me. And while he is a bit of a
Yeah.
jokester, he seems to actually enjoy working with all his colleagues, and he treats them pretty well, supporting them when it doesn't take too much effort on his part. After that, we see Ragatha, and she is a 30-year-old accountant and is considered to be the kindest person in the office, which I'm definitely not surprised about. The bad news here is that she is so kind that people will take advantage of her from time to time, and she's known as like
I could already see that probably being a thing with Jax, but I'm not sure if Jax is like full on the same maliciousness that he has in this, compared to what we have in the show.
the company's doormat. A lot of this is due to the fact that she lacks self-worth and confidence, so she overcompensates by trying to help everyone, which is way too real when you really think about it. I think we all know at least one person like that in our lives, and some of you watching may be that person. I also find it kind of funny that she has a crush on Jax, but she is
Okay, so I was wondering with the hand holding earlier, but I was not expecting to see them kissing. That's a huge change.
too shy to actually make a move on him. Next, we get Kinger, who is our oldest office member, sitting at 48. And just like in the original show, his mind drifts in and out, making him seem like a senile old man, but he does his best to be helpful and is actually really intelligent. He's the person responsible for creating all the digital code that the company is using to operate on a daily basis. I also
Okay.
like that he and Ragatha seem to have a really good relationship here, with him acting as like the goofy uncle for her. Next, we have Gangle, and she is as skittish as ever, but she is still a reliable worker. In this AU, she is 26 years old and seems to suffer from different types of illnesses that seem to flare up when her comedy mask breaks. And I have to say, I really like how the artist is using the mask to help illustrate the struggles that some people have with depression and like mental health issues in general. I also find it cute that Gangle has a crush on Zubul, who just like Jax is 22 years old. Now, when we actually get into the details of Zubul's, they're described as being a good worker that doesn't tolerate nonsense, and apparently they also admire Gangle's artwork and is overall very supportive of her in the office. As of right now, that's all the info that we have for this AU, but I'm excited to see what the creator decides to do with this one in the future. I really hope that the final product has a bit more tension in it, but even if it's just a slice of life anime style comic, I think it can still be really cool, and it would
And I'm hoping for all these, when they have more development, they deserve. I think all these AUs deserve an individual video when there's more content to go over and stuff.
stand out compared to a lot of the other AUs, considering that there's only a few that go a more mundane route. Let me know if you guys enjoy this type of video where I just go over maybe like some less common AUs or AUs that are not complete yet or just really short. If you guys do enjoy
I don't mind that actually.
it, I may look at a couple of other smaller AUs and put a bunch of them together to make one big video, because I really do think there are some cool AUs out there that are just really small or haven't been completed yet. But with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, check out this video on the screen here, hit that join button to become a member of the Orse Force today, and we will see you tomorrow with another one. Peace.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this one. I did have to do a small minor cut. I was paying attention to something that involved my cats outside, and I had to go quickly run and make sure one of my cats were safe, not going too far because we have little trackers on their collars when they're outside. But besides that small little cut, I did enjoy this video. I like the breakdowns. I like the designs for all these AAUs and stuff like that for the Amazing Little Circus office, Fight Club, Wonderland, and even the casino one. Like all of them really cool. I hope we get more interesting AUs. The only thing I fear is some of these creators might get overwhelmed by the fandom, because we know what's going on right now when it comes to the fandom and how they're treating Gooseworks and Glitch. Like, it's not there's a lot of them, but there's still a lot of good viewers and enjoyers of the Amazing Little Circus, but yeah, people need to calm the fuck down. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Stay tuned for more in the future, and of course, if there's other ones from this channel you guys want me to check out, let me know about it down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, hit that subscribe button, and later!
In the pixelated world where the gamers unite, there's a name that shines bright, bringing joy to the night. Steven's killer, he's the king of the screen. With his epic playthroughs, he ranks as a meme. Laughing out loud as we watch him explore. From horror to laughter, we can't help but want more. With a heart full of passion, he shares his delight. Steven's killer, take us on another